We are taught from a young age that our DNA acts as strict instructions, a highly precise, mechanical blueprint for building a human being. But when you actually look at the human genome, there is no map for a hand, no wiring diagram for an eye, or schematics for a brain. DNA codes for proteins. It dictates the exact chemical parts you're made of, but it stays silent on how those individual parts should assemble into a three-dimensional form. If your genes aren't acting as the architect, what is coordinating millions of blind, microscopic cells to build the specific shape you have today? Biologist Mike Levin suggests the embryo we consider a single being is an illusion. It's a temporary alliance formed by millions of individual cellular agents. To see this in action, look at the axolotl. If this amphibian loses a limb, it bypasses the normal process of scarring. The cells at the wound site rapidly multiply and work to recreate the exact shape of the missing leg. Once that specific shape is achieved, they stop. No single cell knows what a leg is, but together they pursue a shared anatomical goal. Your physical form is driven by the memory of the collective, not a static map hidden inside the genetic code. The binding agent for these microscopic builders is electricity. Long before a creature is fully formed, isolated cells pool their individual goals into a unified network via bioelectric pulses. Evolution utilized by looking at developing frog embryos in the lab. By reading the electrical signals across the tadpole's body, scientists can see a glowing pattern mapping out the face long before physical features are constructed. Your anatomy is held together second by this continuous shared electrical conversation among yourselves. Because these anatomical goals are stored as electrical signals, they can be rewritten. We can speak the language of the cells and change their destination. In one experiment, scientists adjusted the bioelectric target in a cluster of frog gut cells, commanding them to stop building a gut and build a fully functional eye instead. The cells committed to this new goal with such intensity that they recruited unaltered neighboring cells to help them construct the new organ. That is the constructive power of a unified network. But when that electrical conversation breaks down, the cell's shared goal collapses. Cancer is a breakdown of the network. Losing its electrical link, a cell reverts to a selfish amoeba, multiplying chaotically. However, forcing those tumor cells back into the correct bioelectric state makes them abandon selfish behavior. They reconnect, resuming healthy tissue construction. The boundary of a biological self is not fixed by DNA. It depends on the scale of the goal the cellular network is capable of holding together. If bodies are temporary agreements, we can take human cells, free them from their standard anatomical plan, and remove them from their evolutionary history. Scientists have done this by taking normal adult human airway cells and letting them self-organize in a lab. Without any genetic modification, they form Anthrobots, entirely new physical structures. These constructs exhibit behaviors never seen in their host body. When placed near a deep tear in a layer of human neurons, the Anthrobots seek out the damage and bridge the gap to heal it. There has never been an evolutionary pressure to be a good Anthrobot. Their unique forms prove that the rules of biological matter are far more flexible than a strict genetic timeline suggests. A human body is not a permanent object. It is a continuously morphing story, sustained only by the active agreements of the cellular inhabitants living inside it. Regenerating lost limbs or halting cancer spread requires us to master this internal communication. These breakthroughs depend on our ability to influence the collective behavior of the cellular network. To reach these outcomes, we don't necessarily have to rewrite our underlying genetic hardware. We simply need to learn the electrical language of our cells and give them a new goal.